Today, I want to speak about a quiet, pervasive tragedy that unfolds behind the closed doors of our homes. The moment a child ceases to be a person in the eyes of their family and becomes a tool. We've all heard the terms messengers, buffers, shields, pawns, but let's call it what it really is. It is a theft. It is the theft of a child's right to simply be, without the crushing weight of having to fix, report, or choose. Children are not property to be divided, nor are they soldiers to be recruited. They are individual souls with their own internal lives, their own fears, and a biological need for a secure foundation. When conflict arises, whether it's a family feud or a crumbling marriage, the atmosphere in a home changes. It becomes heavy. For an adult, this is a crisis of logistics or ego. For a child, it is a crisis of safety. When we use children as messengers, asking them to tell your father or tell your aunt, we are forcing them to carry a weapon they didn't ask for. When we ask them to report on what happened at the other house, we turn their natural curiosity into a betrayal of loyalty. The reality is that childhood draws the shapes of who we become. It is the blueprint of the brain. When a child is caught in the crossfire, their brain doesn't prioritize happiness or personality, it prioritizes survival. This isn't just stress, it is a neurological conditioning. A child in this environment lives in a state of chronic hypervigilance. Their amygdala, the brain's alarm system, becomes enlarged and hyperactive. They aren't just sad, their brains are being physically wired to expect betrayal as a baseline for love. I cannot even begin to count the number of adults I see today who are at their core still those wounded, terrified children. They are successful, high functioning people with adult titles and bank accounts, but they are still navigating life through the survival shapes they had to draw when they were 5 or 10 years old. You see it in the hyper-vigilant peacekeeper, the adult who cannot relax until they are certain everyone else in the room is happy. You see it in the hollow adult, the person who is brilliant at fulfilling everyone's expectations but has no idea what brings them joy because they were never allowed to have their own needs. You see it in the relationship avoider who views intimacy not as a partnership but as a series of maneuvers and inevitable traps. They carry a trust deficit so deep that they spend their lives waiting for a partner to reveal what they actually want to use them for. When you attack a spouse through a child, the child doesn't just hear an insult, they feel a fracture in their own identity. To them, they are 50% mum and 50% dad. When you disparage the other side, the child feels you are attacking the very fiber of their own being. They spend their energy worrying if mum is okay or if dad is angry, leaving them with no energy left for the actual business of being a child: curiosity, play, and mistake making. To stop this cycle, we must perform a radical act of love. We must surrender our weapons. We must decolonize the child's mind and remove our adult agendas from their landscape. This requires a level of radical accountability. You must accept that your child is not your friend, your therapist, or your co pilot. They are your charge. We must create a sacred circle around our children where they are safe to be irrelevant to adult problems. Inside that circle, there is no talk of court dates, no complaints about child support, and no cold silences. Inside that circle, there is only the freedom to be small and messy. Children are not vessels for our unfulfilled dreams, nor are they shields for our insecurities. They are the future, and they are watching us to see how a human being is supposed to treat the people they love. Let us put down the pawns. Let us collapse the chessboard. Let us look at our children in the eye and say, "You are not a bridge. You are not a weapon. And you are not a witness. You are just a child, and that is more than enough."